a guy who has been dating his senpai, Suzurikawa Hinaji. They shared a bond since kindergarten, growing up as childhood friends. But to him, she's not just a friend. Hinaji-senpai has always been the one who made his heart skip a beat. One day, something inside him snaps. Clenching his fist tightly, he suddenly takes off running. Hinaji-senpai calls out to him, her voice echoing with concern, but he doesn't stop. As he runs, his thoughts swirl. If what Hinaji felt for him wasn't interest, then he will never understand it. Maybe all he needs is to just disappear somewhere. With those thoughts, something deep within him shatters once again, leaving him feeling more lost than ever. He is a first-year student at Shoyu High named Yukido. Yukido is gearing up for his big debut in Class B. He's convinced that how he introduces himself will set the stage for his entire school life. As the introduction round begins, Sakurai Kana takes the spotlight. With a radiant smile, she cheerfully asks everyone to be friends. Yukido thinks, wow, she's definitely the class sunshine. Maybe he should pull off a grand entrance like that. Next up, Shakaduanya awkwardly shuffles to the front and declares she loves bugs, then quickly backpedals, telling everyone to forget it. Yukido notes, gloomy vibes, got it. Definitely not the spotlight kind. Determined to stay under the radar, Yukido decides to play it safe with a super forgettable introduction. He makes up his mind to deliver a forgettable and simple introduction. When it's finally his turn, he stands up, takes a deep breath, and dramatically announces, thanks for having him, and claims that he is quitting school. The classroom goes silent. Yukido, realizing his grand entrance has just turned him into the class weirdo. He does not want to blame them, as he feels the same. Amidst, the class fellow asks him what happened to him, and he apologizes as it came out of his mouth when he experienced how unreasonable the world is. He seems calm and then tells everyone that he is aiming to be the gloomy one who is always alone. He wants to be always alone and asleep in class, and does not want any disturbance from everyone. He wants everyone to treat him like the air and pretend that he does not exist. Moreover, he does not mind if they try to say something funny about him, but he knows that no one will try to talk to a gloomy guy like him. After completing his introduction, he turns around and sees that no one is interested in his speech, so he gets happy. He is sure that no one will try to talk to him at all. Amidst, his teacher says that she will not allow him to waste his entire high school life like this, and she wants to lend him an ear if he wants. Yukido thinks that this teacher is too nice, like the paternal aunts at weddings. Yukido with confidence assures that there is no need to worry, as his high school life is not the only thing he wasted. But he also wasted his father's hard work to bring him into the world. The teacher could not believe him, as he was too realistic, and it was scary to believe him. Therefore, she asks him to sit down, as she knows that he is a problem child, but he claims that a modest kid like him cannot be a problem child. The class students try to control their laugh after hearing this, and they think that he is too funny. Yukido asks them if their eyes are okay, as it was just a normal introduction. His classmate Tanaka wants his number to stay in contact with him, as he thinks that Yukido is too funny, and this year is going to be fun. Yukido could not believe him, as he was already calling him by his name and said that it was more than he could digest. He seemed like the one who could not digest when someone gave them respect. The guy tells him that he is not Tanaka, and his name is Mio Koki. Yukido apologizes to him for not listening to his introduction, and then Mio asks him why is he even there. Yukido asks him, why is he even talking to the gloomiest guy like him, and Mio says that he is not sure why he calls himself gloomy, as he is not the one. Mio thinks that Yukido stands out the most and wants to be friends with him. Yukido thinks that he wants him to work for him, which is why he is taking so much interest in him, and his thoughts do not end there. He further thinks that Miyokuki wants to place him by his side. It is because his handsomeness will shine ever more, and Miho, with a taunting tone, claims that he is not a crowd filler. Yukido says that it is too evil of him and claims that a self-centered guy is easier to deal with compared to a poker face. Mio cannot handle this, as he feels like Yukido is saying weird things to him, but he sure hopes that it was him. Yukido then takes his wallet out and offers him 10 grand, as he thinks this will work to stop him, but Mihao is shocked to see that, and he asks him what happened to him in the past, as it seems like he fell off from a building's top and hit his head. Yukido claims that it was nice to meet him, and Mihao says that he seems ready to accept everything. Then Mihao takes his phone out and wants to be in Yukido's care, and asks if he has time after school. Yukido asks if something is going on. The whole class became obsessed with his full talk, and they wanted to be close to him. That is why Sakurai-kan approaches him and says that they should have a get-together since they are classmates, and asks him to come over. Yukito thinks that they are at the point where they gather classmates to know each other better and thinks that she is the sunniest character and might be the strongest opponent. He wants to settle this eventually and calls the sunny girl a queen and calls her Elizabeth. He tries to give her the princess treatment, but she rejects the name and wants him to call her by her own name. Yukito is not ready to believe that they invited him to the get-together. Sakurai-kan tells him that she talked to Miho, and he thinks that he is not a weird person and tells him to look as they have gathered a lot of people already for the get-together. Yukito turns around and sees that a bunch of people are standing there, due to which he gets dizzy and asks for a leave. He excuses them and leaves from there, while claiming that he has something on his to-do list. Therefore, he apologizes for not being able to join them and asks them to have fun without him. Sakurai understands his reason and feels bad because there is nothing they can do about it. He leaves the class, and his classmates bid him goodbye with a hope that he will join sometime them for fun some another time. Yukito walks towards home, and he is not lying because his mother will be home late tonight, so he has to make dinner for themselves. Moreover, according to him, hanging out with those girls is a bad idea because Sakurai-kan is in a relationship, and he hates to be the paternal aunt in the relationship as her childhood friend. On the other hand, Kamishiro Shori is one of the most innocent people he knows, so he does not want to give her a hard time while being around her. He thinks the girls were not comfortable around him according to his observations. Furthermore, when he saw the name list, he knew that he would not be able to get anywhere near them, yet they were so close on the first day of school. After school, Yukito's classmates are having a get-together, and his classmates gossip about Yukito. They are sure that Yukito is bad news because they have never seen anyone declaring that they are going to quit the school on the first day. However, Miyu assures them that Yukito is an interesting dude, and the classmates ask him if he knows something about him. Miho tells them that they had an amazing time while playing basketball, but they were in different middle schools, so he doubts that Yukito remembers him at all. Then Kamishiro Shiori asks him if he ever had a chance to have a match with Yukito in the middle school, and Miyaur tells her that he had a match with him in the middle school. He thanks Yuki for playing a basketball match in middle school. Mihao was not sure why Yukito did not show up for the basketball tournament, and he asks Kamishiro Shiori about it, as she was close to him, but she refuses to talk about it. Sakurai-kan asks her if she is good friends with Yukito, and she claims that it is the opposite, as Yukito hates her now. It was the summer of their second year that she started to like him. Their club was not that committed to their activities, and the boys and girls were all having their fun. She claims that it was the same for her, but Yukito was the one different. It is because he was so invested in practicing the basketball, and he was the only one who kept picking up the ball back up to throw it into the basket. It seemed like he was pushed by something to try hard, and it was reflecting the image of a person who tries to forget something by distracting themselves. His passion summoned the passion and commitment that the club never had, and with him there, they could have aimed for a high spot in the tournament. The club started to grow with his efforts as he was one of the amazing players. Kamishiro claims that he was able to change people just by his behavior, but he never takes care of himself, so she never took her eyes off him before she realized that she likes him. Kamishiro claims that she was a kid back then, and she could not be honest with herself, so she held her feelings back and confessed to him when she was confused about the feelings she had for him. She feels bad because she betrayed him very badly due to the confused feelings, and then she took everything from him. Kamishiro says that she is the reason behind Yukito being like this, and it is all her fault. At the same moment, Suzurikawa Hinaji claims that she is the reason that he is hurt like that. Both of them stare at each other in shock, and Suzurikawa Hinaji clarifies if she is hearing things and asks Kamishiro how she is related to this. Kamishiro Shiori says that it is her line, and asks her, what is her deal with Yuki? Sakurai-kan and the other classmates around are not sure about how this place turned into an arena, but they just have a guess that these two girls are from the same middle school as Yuito. Amidst, Suzurikawa Hinaji tells everyone that she is Yukito's childhood friend, and Kamishiro asks her if she is the reason Yukito changed. Suzurikawa accepts it with a guilty look, and then she angrily asks Kamishiro who she is and what she did to Yukito. She gets angry at her and wants her to utter the truth. The little debate turns into a fight, and Sakurai-kan stops them from fighting as this is the get-together, and she asks them to get along too. Things get super awkward, and Suzurikawa Hinaji cannot take it, so she leaves from there. Then Kamishiro apologizes for ruining their moods and claims that she should go too. As both of the Hotheads leave from there, the ones left behind have no idea how to make the get-together interesting anymore. Therefore, they ask Kazunari to sing a song, but he is not ready to handle the situation at the moment. Mihao is also shocked, and he says that Yukido is quite the handful one. Meanwhile, at Yukido's home, his sister asks him if he can explain what introduction he gave. On the other hand, Yukido thinks that he is the defendant, and the judge and his sister Yuri are in a super bad mood. The situation looks like they are going to face the consequences. Then his sister makes him sit on the chair while eating, and she will be asking questions from him. Yukido thinks, if he was in the same situation, to think that she even got the wind of his introduction, that means there is someone who is working for her in the class. He thinks that this is going to make his life super hard. Yukido starts to eat the food, and he thinks that the nikujaga that he is eating tastes like sand today. He keeps eating, and then his sister asks him if he gave that introduction because of Suzurikawa-san and Kamishiro-san, but Yukido prefers to stay quiet. His sister thinks that he is guilty, and Yukido gets scared after thinking that she will punish him, so he apologizes to her while accepting that he was lying. Yukido thinks that the judge is in an angry mood today. However, he did not expect his sister to know about Kamishiro. He knew that she met Suzurikawa as his childhood friend before, but he did not remember her ever meeting Kamishiro-san. Yukido apologizes to his sister Yuri and says that he is going to study, leaving his sister worried for him, but before he leaves he assures that he is fine and goes to his room. While lying there, he thinks that he was so rude, and even he is angry at himself and wonders if his sister is worried about him for real. He is not ready to believe it because according to him, it is not possible because his sister hates him. However, on the other side, Yuri is sad because she cannot see that his brother is always the one suffering. She wanted her brother to have a bright high school life, but there is nothing to help as he is the same as always. Seems like he is a guy with a little stick. Yuri is angry at Suzurikawa Hinaji because she is the one who betrayed her brother, and then Kamishiro-san, who put all her brother's efforts to waste. She is super angry at them, and she is not ready to forgive them anytime soon. Yuri thinks that her brother still hates her, and she can judge by looking at his face as his eyes are always scared of her. She thinks that he just talks to her and comes close to her when she needs help. This is not normal for a sibling's relationship. However, she was the one who caused all this, and ever since that day, he never called her a sister. Yuri knows that she is guilty, and she is not even qualified to be called a sister. She has a gut feeling that he hates her, but even after all this, she is ready to protect her brother from those two cheaters. At school, Kamishiro-san approaches Yukido and asks him if he is going to join the basketball club, as she is thinking of becoming the club's manager, and then Suzurikawa approaches him and asks if he is heading to the cafeteria, as she brought the lunch with herself and wants to have it together. Meanwhile, Yukido is unsure why God has to hand him trials like these. Our unsymmetrical face Yukido has super bad luck with women. It is because his mother always neglected him and his sister hates him. His childhood friend, who he thought that they had mutual feelings for, had a boyfriend before he could confess to her. Moreover, he got teased by people when he was heartbroken and had countless other troubles stacking up each other. He has the most obvious face of having issues with women. He thinks that this must be the end, and he must be the reincarnator from another world. As a result of messing with all the evils, they sent him to this world, and the fact that he is unlucky with women must be the karma. No kid, it's not karma, but the little stick you got. Yukido is unable to build a deep bond with people, and he cannot even observe and show love and empathy towards the people near him. He cannot even try to understand how this is happening because he even gave up on trying, like he gave up on his little stick to grow. Due to all these reasons, he cannot get close to women and people and cannot understand the reason behind it. Kamishiro-san and Suzurikawa-san are having a fight in front of Yukido as they want him to come with them, but they want to spend time alone. Therefore, Kamishiro asks Suzurikawa if she can do the lunch things some another time, as she was the one who called out to him first, but Suzurikawa claims that it is her line, and asks her to do this some other time as she feels like eating with Yukido. However, Yukido does not want to talk to either of them as he just wants to have his alone time to eat lunch, and asks them if they can do this somewhere else. Amidst, Mio shows up and asks which club he is going to join, and Yukido asks him if he really cannot read the room. Kamishiro takes the opportunity and tries to convince Yukido to join the basketball club, as she is going to be the manager there, and she wants to achieve the goal together this time. Yukido thinks about getting bad memories even after putting a lot of effort into basketball, and he could not even achieve his goal, so he got nothing out of it. Therefore, he angrily claims that he does not play basketball anymore, and he is done with it as nothing pushes him to play it now. Kamishiro does not take it and claims that he tried so hard. Yukito, being savage, asks her if she remembers what happened after all that effort, which makes her feel guilty. She asks him how long is he going to do this and tries to convince him. But Yukito, being a man with a little stick, says that he is not going to join the club either way because a gloomy dude like him will go for a typical club, like going home. Mihao encourages Yukito to join the club and forget everything, but Yukito tells him that he should do that as he is not interested in joining the club. Mr. Sunny Miho says that he is going to go home too if Yukito is not going to join the club. Yukito stands up and tells them that he is heading towards the cafeteria now and wishes good luck to Kamishiro-san for becoming the manager. As he leaves, Kamishiro's eyes get teary and she thinks that Yuki is not calling her by the name he usually used to. In contrast, Yukito walks through the corridor and looks outside of the window where he sees some students playing. He thinks the basketball club is even having some afternoon practices and finds it very passionate. Yukito used to practice as crazy as they do as well, and he was very passionate. However, he lost all the craze and feels nothing when he touches the ball now, and he has lost all the energy he had for it. Yukito does not feel the same energy to play basketball again as he used to. He even does not want to think about it anymore and walks towards the cafeteria without any other thought. As he reaches the cafeteria, he sees Suzurikoa standing there with her lunch while asking him if he brought his lunch with him as she wants to eat together. Yukito wonders why did she wait for him, because no one ever waited for him, not even his parents. As this guy cannot digest the respect, he tells her not to talk to him anymore. Suzurikoa asks him, why is that? As they are classmates, they should talk to get along. In addition, they are more than classmates, as they are even childhood friends. Yukito, with a very depressing tone, claims that it is all in the past, and it is not the same now. After hearing this statement, Suzurikoa is unsure why he would say that and asks him about it. Yukito, being an idiot, says that he feels bad for her boyfriend and makes things awkward as everyone starts to look at them in shock. Yukito thinks that her having a boyfriend in middle school was well known, so he just said it without even noticing about it. He thinks that he should not have said that as he feels bad now. Suzurikoa gets emotional after hearing their boyfriend thing from him, and she asks him why he cannot forget about him as she changes boyfriend like people change their look. Yukito claims that he is doing this for her as he would not be happy if he saw his girlfriend with another guy, especially when it was his childhood friend. As he utters this sentence, he feels shy, so he says that he is trying to claim that he cannot see her boyfriend being close to another girl. Suzurikoa angrily tries to explain something, but Yukito thinks about the moment Suzurikoa chose someone. They can no longer hang around each other, so he chose to put some distance between them. Yukito has no clue why she cannot realize this, that just because they were childhood friends, it does not mean that they can stay together forever. Yukito, being a mama's boy, apologizes to her and leaves the room, while claiming that she should invite someone else to have lunch with her. He left her alone because he once liked her and he wants to wish the best for her. He has an uncertain feeling about her in his mind, and he is waiting for the day to come so that he can find the answer to that, but according to him, that day will never come. As Yukito leaves her alone, everyone in the cafeteria starts to gossip about her boyfriend and they admire her beauty. The guys there get depressed because they are going to propose to her, but they are unsure about the guy she is dating as they never saw her with anyone in this school. Amidst, a girl there says something about the time when she was in middle school, and Suzurikoa gets angry and tells them to stop and not to say another word after that. She starts to cry out loud and claims that it is all her fault. Later in Class 1B, the teacher announces that they will be having classes outdoors tomorrow, as it is an annual event their school holds to deepen the friendships between students with a hiking event. The teacher tells everyone to make a team of 4, and at last, the teacher asks a group to adopt him as well. This guy has no respect for his friends as well. Like people are adopting him, instead, they should be adopting a dog. However, Yukito, being a useless man, says that this is his role as a gloomy dude, and he is happy to be a loner. Mio sees him alone, so he approaches him and asks to join them, but Yukito is an ugly guy, so he cannot see a handsome one approaching him. Therefore, he asks Miho to control the output from his face, and claims that a sunny dude should look for a sunny type. Miho smiles and tells him to make up his mind whether he is hurting from loneliness or not. Yukito ignores his words as everyone in the house ignores him, and here the team is built. The next day, the school bus finally brings them to the hiking area, and everyone gets too excited for the outdoor class. As the students step on the ground, they start to make weird noises. Miho calls Yukito, but he is too busy to do the same noise thing. He tries to listen to the echo of his voice, but it seems super weird and embarrassing. Yukito asks him, what is the funny idea he got, and Miho claims that he got nothing funnier than he did. My bro is being savage here. Yukito tells him that he was just testing his chances, and when he looks at his team, Suzurikawa and Kamishiro are with them too. He starts to make voices like a broken radio, and Miho tells him to stop. After a little time, they finally start to hike, and everyone is loving it. Kamishiro is enjoying the fresh air, and Miho knows that this air is different from the streets. Yukito, being an idiot as always, says that he is not sure about it and makes things awkward again. Yukito is not sure why the girls team up with him, even though this is their rare outdoor class. He wanted to be alone, as he always is, and he is thinking like this because he does not want to ruin their school lives. The team keeps moving, and they take small little stops in between to enjoy the surroundings, but Yukito keeps moving like he has some kind of emergency up there. After a bit, Suzurikawa gets tired, and she asks him to stop as her legs are hurting. Yukito comes near her and asks her to take her shoes off as he needs to see what is wrong. However, everyone there took it wrong, and they tell him to do it somewhere else, while Suzurikawa is ready to do it, but when there is no one around them. Yukito asks her what she is thinking about, as he wants her to take her shoes off so that he can help her. She does as asked. Yukito sees that her feet are swallowed. He feels bad because he was not thinking about his pacing, and Suzurikawa apologizes for slowing them down. Kamishiro and Miho make her calm down as there is nothing to worry about, and Yukito thinks of a way to help her. He keeps looking at her eyes with a questionable look, and she tells him that her feet do not smell. Yukito says that he thought she might get angry if he said that, and she asks him if they do smell or not. Yukito holds her nose and says that there is no need to worry as he will hold them, and Suzurikawa claims that he is trying to prove that her feet smell by holding her nose tightly. Yukito says if she wants to go that far, then he can just smell it, and she tries to explain that she did not mean it. She keeps telling him to stop as he cannot smell it, while our pet Yukito thinks that no matter how he looks at it, he currently looks like a guide who has a wish to smell the feet, and if anyone catches or reports about it, then he might turn himself in. Yukito uses a bandage and tights her feet so that she can move easily, and then asks how she feels moving. Suzurikawa replies that she is feeling fine now. Then Yukito hands her a drink and says that they will be taking it slower from here, and asks her to tell him if her feet hurt. As he takes some steps towards the mountain, Sensei stops him and asks him to do the same for her too, as her feet are hurting too. Yukito gets scared after looking at her because she looks like a zombie, and says to Sensei that she will be in trouble during the kids' sports festival. Sensei tells him that she is not married. Yukito looks at Kamishiro and says that he will teach her so that she can do it, as she is going to be a manager soon. Kamishiro feels motivated about it and wants to do it. Yukito tells her the directions, and she rotates the bandage to help Sensei. After they are done, Sensei says thanks to them and walks away, but when Yukito turns around, he sees Kamishiro acting like a pet. Yukito asks her to bring her hands out, and she does as asked and makes a sound of dog, woof. Then he throws something towards the woods and asks her to go and bring it back for him, and she does as asked. She is more loyal than a dog and gets shocked after seeing that she actually listened to him. Kamishiro brings the treat back and asks him to show love to her, but Yukito asks her to calm down and listen to him. He tells her that she is not an animal, and she says that he is the one who told her to do, and she actually went to get it for him. Yukito says if she has to act like a dog, then he will act like the owner in response, and she might not like it. Therefore, he starts to show love, but not on her head, instead on her watermelon, and she keeps telling him to stop as it is not the head. Suzurikawa thinks that this is not what she had in her mind, as Yukito did more than she expected. Kamishiro falls to the ground, and Yuki asks her if she remembers that she is a human, and she agrees on it. Then she gets up with a smile on her face and says if he does this to anyone else other than her, then he might get into trouble, and Yuki wonders if she will not make him face the consequences. He asks her if she did it with that in mind, and loudly asks her if she is okay if he does not know. Kamishiro says that it is bad either way, and she cannot control her laugh, so she starts to laugh out loud. She apologizes for her actions and claims that it was so funny because it is exactly like how they used to be back then. Then she holds his hand and asks, how is his arm, and asks if it made a full recovery, and Yuki tells her that she does not have to worry about it. Kamishiro says that she cannot do that and makes a face that is recognizable by Yuki. He thinks that they are currently not teaching each other equally, which is probably why she would forgive anything he does to her. Kamishiro holds his hand and asks him to move, but he walks away from her and thinks that it is as if the time between Kamishiro and him is unable to move forward. They keep walking for a while and finally reach the top point. Everyone is excited for the beautiful scenery in front of them, but Mihao is starving. Yukito takes out a waterproof and thanks to Raymond. All of them sit on it together, and then Yuki asks Suzurikawa if her feet are okay, and she says yes, they are fine now. She could not believe how effective his work was, and it was her first time trying the socks kind of thing on her feet. Yukito then takes out candy and asks if she wants it, and then says that he got some bandits too. Suzurikawa asks him if he really brought everything with himself, and asks why does he act like he is used to injuries. Suzurikawa then says that she knows that he did get hurt in the 3rd year of school, and Yukito asks her how she knows about it. Suzurikawa, with the widest open cave, says that she is always watching him. Yukito was shocked after hearing it, and wondered why she had been watching him. While the thoughts are going through his mind, Suzurikawa asks him why he helped her, and he says that they are on the same team and they are classmates. As he utters these words, he sees a teddy hanging through her phone case and asks if she still has that. Suzurikawa asks him if he still remembers about it, and he says yes, from the festival. Suzurikawa enjoys remembering about those moments, and then Yukito, being the salt on the injuries, asks her if she had a messed up situation with her boyfriend. Suzurikawa asks him, what if he accidentally breaks someone's heart, what will he do? And he says that he will apologize for sure. Suzurikawa claims that her boyfriend will never forgive her. Yukito thinks about it, and then asks her if she can give it a new start once again. Suzurikawa acts shocked, so he explains that she can take a new start with him if she cannot fix everything. After hearing this, she gets happy and says thanks to Yukito for helping her. Amidst, she stands up and apologizes to him for all the mean things that she said to him. She knows that she should have apologized earlier to this idiot, but she was very scared that they would not be able to go back to what they were. Suzurikawa says that she cannot just ask him to forget about it, and she even knows that she is being unreasonable at this point. Moreover, she is arrogant, selfish, and worse, and she only thinks about herself, but she still is sorry for everything that she did. She apologizes with her heart, and then Yukito says that he does not remember any mean thing that she said to him. He should be sorry because he did not mean to tell everyone about her boyfriend in the cafeteria. Then he says thanks to her because he just had to get it out of his system. Suzurikawa is unsure about why he is apologizing to her, as she was the one wrong. Yukito says that she might have said some strict stuff to him, but they were all true, and thanks to that, he understood his lowly position. He claims that all this did not happen because they were friends, but instead, they just walked on different paths. Yukito says that she is kind, and that is why he did not want to see her. He feels bad because she is crying in front of him, and if only they had not met, she would not be making that face. Suzurikawa is someone who is dear to Yukito, and that is the reason he wants to be out of her life, and he only wants to pray for her happiness. He thinks that he lost his worth as her childhood friend, and they are not even friends anymore, instead they are classmates now. After having a good time together, they finally return to the bus. Before stepping into the bus, Suzurikawa sees her strap is not there and she makes a scene out of it. She says that she dropped it somewhere. Yukito says that it was there a second ago, and she looks for it in the bag and says that she must have dropped it while coming back down. She is not sure what to do if she loses it. She wanted to go back and look for it, but Yukito stopped her from going as the bus was already leaving, but she had to go as it was the last thing that he gave to her. Yukito tells her that her boyfriend can get as many of those things as she wants from him, and she angrily tells him to stop that as she is done with that. Yukito wonders if she really liked that bear that much, and he wants to help her as he cannot allow her to stay here alone. They finally sit inside the bus, and Suzurikawa thinks that this is retribution and wonders if this is because she tried talking to her. She thinks that it is a bit too harsh as the strap was their bond, something so important. It is proof of all the time they spent together. In addition, it was the last present he gave to her. She knows that he will give her the same thing if she asks for it, but that is not the point. The thing she really wants is no longer obtainable anymore. Suzurikawa wonders what she can do now and wonders if she should go and look for it when they get back, but with the swollen feet it is impossible. All the students finally reach their school and Sensei asks, "Where is Yukito?" as he is not there in the class. One of the students says that he went back home as he was unwell, and Sensei says that he did not report to her about it. Therefore she asks Mihao if it is true, and he says that he does not anything. Sensei says that she did not mind it, but at least he should have reported it to her before leaving. Suzurikawa feels down when she gets to know that Yukito left for his home without telling anyone. Meanwhile, the idiot Yukito went to the mountains to look for the strap. He says that they have known each other for so long, plus she cannot just ignore a face like Suzurikawa's. He wants to try it for once and then he will be done, and shouts her name. Suzurikawa returns to her home, and at night she keeps staring at her picture with Yukito, the small stick man. Deep down in her heart, she is feeling scared because she might not get things back to what they used to be with Yukito. Yukito and Suzurikawa used to go to festivals with their families at first, but it turned into just the two of them before she realized. She thinks about the day when he tried to hold her hand and she pulled away because her hands were sweaty and she was very embarrassed about it. She wiped her hand, but he never tried to hold it back. She has regret because she never tried to hold his hand, and if she did that, they might be going out with each other like this again. She imagines him holding hands and showing love to her, and thinks that things would have been different if she held his hand back then. She cannot ask him why he did not try to hold her hand back because it was all her fault, as she was the one who destroyed their bond. On the other side, Yukito finally finds the strap in the rain and feels happy because he kept telling himself that he would not be able to find it, but things are different now as he finally found it. After finding it, he looks at the teddy and wonders, how long will Suzurikawa keep treasuring this thing even though he has already thrown out everything she gave to him, with all the stuff and memories included. He thinks that it is getting late and he needs to get back home, but his foot slips and he falls from a height. He says goodbye to all the loved ones and the ones close to him, including his family and friends, and wonders if he just knew only a few people. Yukito thinks about the time when he went out with Suzurikawa and she insisted on getting some candies. Then she took him to play a game and win a teddy. He even asked her if she was sure that she wanted that ugly-looking teddy, but she thought that it was cute and she wanted it badly. Therefore, he played the game with all that he had and won it for her, thinking that she was in a super good mood today. He thinks that Suzurikawa started to become more irritating in middle school, but he still believed in her. He was sure that they would come together to the festival again next summer, and he had a strong belief that their relationship would continue to grow. They used to spend a lot of time together and even went to see the fireworks together. They were having an amazing moment. A bunch of people came out of nowhere, and Yukito tried to hold her hand to protect her, but she pulled away and started to act weird. In reality, she went away to wipe her hands as they were sweaty. Yukito regrets that he should have realized it sooner what she was trying to tell him. Their relationship has changed and it was long over, and the fact that she slapped his hand away was her way of rejecting him. This idiot's misunderstandings will just leave him with his hand to show love to himself. Amidst the alarm goes on, and Yukito wakes up from a deep sleep. He even caught a cold due to the heavy rain last night, but he feels glad that he somehow managed to return. He fell due to the rain, and he feels bad for it. Yukito looks at the clock and feels useless, like he really is, because he has been sleeping for over half a day. Furthermore, he feels like he had a nostalgic dream, whether it was a happy one or a sad one. He is unsure about it, as he forgot everything. However, all that is left is the feeling that he lost something. Yukito tries to ignore it and looks towards the teddy that is placed next to the clock and thinks that he needs to give it back to her. Meanwhile, at school, Yuri-san went to look for Miho in class, and she asks him to come out so that she can have a talk with him. He is shocked to see that someone wants to talk to him, and everyone gossips that it might be a confession, but Suzurikawa knows that it is Yuri-san, and the confession thing coming from her is not possible. She knows that everything she does is for Yukito's sake, and she guesses that he really went home early because he was sick. Suzurikawa wonders if he is okay as his sister comes to school. On the other side, Yuri-san tells Miho that she is here to talk about things that happened yesterday. Therefore, she questions why Yukito came home late, soaked due to rain. Suzurikawa is also trying to hear their conversation, and she is shocked to hear that he got home late even though he left earlier, but at the back of her mind, she knows where he could have been. Thus, she runs behind Yuri while she is leaving and asks her to wait because she knows the reason he was late yesterday. She asks Yuri if he is okay, and Yuri says that it was just a cold, and he will be fine soon. Yuri does not want to create a scene at school, so she wants Suzurikawa not to test her patience. Then she asks Suzurikawa why he was late and what was he doing. Suzurikawa claims that it is her fault as she told him something that she should have not. Just by listening to this, Yuri gets angry and says that she tricked him again and asks her to stop it. Suzurikawa knows that she might be getting the wrong image of hers, but she should apologize first. Yuri claims that she has no time for this and takes a step to walk away from there, but Suzurikawa requests her to wait. Yuri, with a devilish look, tells her not to come and leaves. At home, Yukito is playing cool as he is feeling refreshed, but he is bored and hungry. He tries to do something, but someone knocks at the door and opens it up even though he tells her to hold up. It is his sister Yuri-san, and by the looks, she seems super angry. Yukito thinks that he should have never expected that his sister would knock at the door. Yuri asks him about his well-being, and he says that he is feeling much better. Then he asks her if there is someone at the door, and she says that it is the newspaper salesman. Yukito claims that she is too bad at lying, and Yuri, with a devilish look, looks at him and asks ha. This ha word is super dangerous as Yukito is not allowed to say anything when this word is being uttered, and it is the rule in the house. It is very hard for him to be younger brother. Yuri then gives some stuff to him that she brought for him, and it is good for his recovery. Yukito takes it from her and appreciates her efforts in bringing them to him. When he opens the bag, he asks why is everything of peach flavor but gets no answer. Because he has no respect at his own house, what else would he expect from him? Yuri observes him and says that he looks much better than he was this morning, but he refuses to be feeling better. Then she asks him if he wants her to help him, and he says that he did that himself. He keeps refusing her help, and then she asks him if he wants porridge to eat, but he makes fun of her by saying that she cannot do that. Yuri says the Hugh word again, and he kneels down in front of her and apologizes for getting savage. Yukito knows that his sister's cooking is too good, and it is sad to believe it. He just does not want her to make one for him, so he says that he will do it himself. Yuri then tells him to make one for her too, and he asks her in his mind if she is not the healthy one. Yukito goes back to his room and looks at his phone as he did not get to look at it while he was resting. When he picks it up, he sees a lot of messages from Suzurikawa. He regrets to check the phone and then leaves for the convenience store for a bit. Yuri asks him to feed each other when he is back, but he refuses to do that. Then he walks out towards the store and sees Suzurikawa, and she runs to hug him, but he tries to keep her away as he smells bad due to sweat. Suzurikawa starts to cry and feels glad that nothing happened to him. Yukito looks at her and asks if she was the one who came to his house, and she apologizes for it. However, Yukito now knows that the person his sister was trying to ignore was her. Yukito then apologizes for Yuri-san's behavior and says that she must have been really hungry for what Suzurikawa says. If she heard that, she might get really angry. Yukito was shocked after hearing it, because the Suzurikawa he remembers would always be unsatisfied and angry. Yukito, the little stick man, gives her the teddy she lost during hiking, and she says that she knew that he went to look for it. Yukito tries to cover it up and says that he is not in any club, so he gets bored. Suzurikawa takes the teddy and says thanks to him as it is a bond, and then apologizes for sending him back up there. They get natural, and then Yukito asks her if her feet are okay, and she claims they are fine. They start to get a nostalgic feeling when they used to stay out so late, and they used to get scolded for it. Suzurikawa is enjoying the time with him, and she tells him that she does not want to go back home, but the idiot and big head. Yukito asks her if she is having trouble. He claims that there is no need to worry as he will not mind the smell of her feet. Suzurikawa asks him how long is he going to believe in that, and he asks her if it is not the smell. Suzurikawa says that she told him that it is not it and gets angry. Yukito thinks that this is the Suzurikawa he knows, and he thought that she had a personality change or something. After hearing this, she asks him if she has changed, and little that he knows is that she has changed, and ever since that day, she has regretted it. Suzurikawa gets comfortable with him and asks, why did he look for it, and claims that she thought he was avoiding her. Yukito says that he is here to help whenever she is in trouble, and that is all. Then she asks him if this is because they are childhood friends. Yukito, being stubborn, says nope, but if she is in trouble and needs help, then she needs to tell someone. It is because he can no longer stay by her side. Suzurikawa gets emotional and asks him to stay by her side forever as she does not want to lose him at all. However, Yukito, the worst idiot human, claims that it is not his duty. Amidst, Suzurikawa tells him that she broke up with Senpai and says that they broke up after 2 weeks and apologizes for not telling him about it. Then she asks him, with an emotional tone, if they cannot go back to how they used to be, but Yukito says no, they cannot go back to being childhood friends again. Suzurikawa asks him if it is too late for them and asks if he likes Kamishiro-san, but he even refuses to do that. Yukito explains that he does not want to be back with her because the feeling of living with her back then was different and he cannot even recall that feeling now. Suzurikawa grabs his shirt and says that she liked him too, ever since they were little, and she was too happy when he confessed to her. She claims that she wanted to give him an answer immediately. She tries to tell him more, but he gets away and claims that he never knew that she was such a big liar. This sentence makes Suzurikawa feel bad and she is speechless. Yukito then asks her if she likes him, then why did she date Senpai? Then he asks her if she does not mind dating someone who she does not like. Suzurikawa holds the teddy in her hands and says that she is not lying at all. She thinks that back then she was worried as Yukito was popular and he could do anything. Moreover, he was the most mature one among his peers, and above all he was kind. Those are the reasons she had to do that. She says that moment when the gossip of her and Senpai dating spread, more girls instantly approached Yukito. She was left alone and her mean idea escalated to the point of no return. In addition, the promise they made when they were little, to be on each other's side when needed, she bets that he does not remember it anymore. However, she is happy because he still helped her like this, but here she is, her legs are not able to move, and she feels like being stuck in soil. The lie she made hurt him, and it hurt him too, and it is so simple to fix this lie, but she is too scared to explain the reason behind why she did all those things. Suzurikawa feels like she is the worst, the ugliest, and her heart is filled with jealousy. She thinks that Yukito will definitely hate her if she leaves her heart bare to him, which is why she got so far without telling him anything. However, she knows that she has to leave him and she needs to take a step forward, and if she wants to fix everything, then she needs to make sure that he does not hate her anymore. On the other hand, she also got a feeling about not fixing it and moving forward while facing her ugly self. Therefore, she apologizes and thinks that she has to make sure that this is the last time she apologizes, and then she will take her first step with him hating her. She hugs the teddy bear and thinks that it is her true love, and she is ready to do anything for it. Yukito gets back home and sees his sister already waiting for him. She gives him 1,000 yen, and he wonders why is she doing that because she already brought a lot of stuff for him yesterday. He apologizes to her when she says the famous Hyo, and thinks that he is obviously kidding as 1,000 yen would not be enough. Yuri asks him if he is trying to make a fool out of her, and he thinks that he made her angry. However, she calms down and asks him to hold her hand until they reach school as he just recovered, but he does not want to do that as he is a high schooler now, and it will bring him some other problems. Therefore, he refuses to do that as it will look weird. Later, Yuri and Yukito walk to school while holding hands, and the same thing happens about what he was scared of. People start to think that he is Yuri Senpai's new boyfriend, but some of them know that he is her brother, and they are not even sure about it because they do not look alike. Everyone wonders why are they holding arms, and they wonder about it as they have no clue. Yukito somehow manages to enter the class, and he feels too awkward. He has no clue why that happened. Amidst, Minu approaches him with the same charming look and calls him a lucky boy. Yukito, being ugly, calls him handsome, and then Miho says that he got such a brilliant way to arrive at school. Yukito explains that Yuri-san is persuasive, and she makes him hold her hand. He is done with the look everyone is giving him since noon due to the holding hands thing, and his peaceful school life has been ruined. Yukito does not want to talk about it anymore, so he makes the excuse that he needs to buy something from the canteen, and Miho asks him if it will not be the same over there, but Yukito angrily says that he is going to buy some stuff. Meanwhile, at home, Yuri-san is looking for something and Senpai approaches her. She asks her, "What is wrong?" and Yuri says something about being a sweet sister. She then talks about Sweet Daddy, who usually pays people to eat with him, and wonders if Yukito tried to do his sister version with her. She wonders what he wants her to do for him, and at the same time she feels so glad that he did not waste his chance. Her mother tells her that she wonders about her sometimes after listening to these confusing lines uttered by her. At school, someone tells Kyuka that a boy is calling her, and they think that she is popular. The girl asks them to stop it, and then goes to see the boy who called her. All this really troubles her, but she still goes to see the boy, and then they go to a silent place. The guy tells the girl, known as Suma-san, that he would like to date her, but Suma acts shocked, and she apologizes for doing that. The guy asks her if there is a reason to refuse, and she says that she really does not know her. The idiot guy asks her how about getting to know him while going out with him, but she acts the same, so he asks her if she is interested in someone else. Suma says that it is not really the case. Yukito is sitting nearby and is eating his burger. He says that he guesses getting 2 sweet buns is a failure. The guy asks him if he is there for something, and Yukito apologizes for it and says that it is their first time to meet and he does not need anything from them. He claims that he was just sitting there to be alone while eating his food, and he is a gloomy loner. Therefore, he asks them to treat him like air and not mind him. Yukito then gives a smile and tells them to continue, but the guy gets angry and says that it is not like they can do it now. The guy gets it that he cannot fight here and leaves from there. Soma-san apologizes for rejecting his love, and then Yukito asks her if it is over. He says it looks like it will be quiet again and starts to eat his food. Soma sits next to him and takes a deep breath of relief. She says it was really troubling, and Yukito says that he is the one in trouble now. Soma gets friendly with him, asks why is he there, and asks if he is trying to confess to her. Yukito tells her that she is pretty delusional if she does not know. Soma says that they never knew each other, including that guy just now, so she cannot really say anything to them. Yukito acts like he is not interested in her conversation, and says that he did not even ask about it, so where is it all coming from? Soma asks him if he is really her junior because he is not talking in a formal tone at all. Yukito acts cool again and says that the mystery of these two buns is way more interesting, and Soma wonders if she is really losing to some sweet buns there. Yukito slides a bit away from her and thinks that she is a bit crazy because he has no clue why she is saying something like that to someone she just met. Soma knows that he is not interested in her saying, so she asks him to at least listen to her as he comes to this spot after all. She asks him if he is just a gloomy guy with no friends. Yukito is done with her, and he says that she is such an attention grabber. Soma gets sad to hear that and asks if he got mad. Yukito, with a smile on his face, says that she is a very nice person for attention grabbing, and says that everyone around him never recognizes him as a gloomy loner for some reason, so he is very happy. Soma says that he is suddenly praising her now, and he says that he is not praising her and calls her an attention grabber. Soma angrily tells him to stop that and says that this is the most embarrassing moment in her life. Yukito asks her what he should call her, but at the same time he does not care. Soma says that she is angry and she is getting angrier by what he is doing. She then introduces herself and says that she is a second-year student. However, Yukito is not interested in her introduction, and he wonders why did not he get the creamy bun. The girl requests him to take an interest in what she has to say. She is angry because he is not caring about her, and all that he is talking about is his bun. Therefore, she asks his name, and he introduces himself. The girl knows him by his name, and she asks him if he is coming here again. He tells her that he eats in his classroom as well, so maybe once or twice a week he will come here to eat. Soma says that she will come here again sometime as well, but Yukito finds it troubling. Soma gets angry again, so he says that he said that in a good way, but she does not want to let it slide just because he said it. Then Soma gets up and says that she was feeling a bit down, but talking to him made her feel better. Yukito, being savage, asks her if she is going to pay the consultant fee, and Soma says that she will get a creamy bun for him the next time they meet. Yukito calls him a goddess, and she tells him to stop it right away and leaves. As she leaves, Yukito becomes happy because he gets his peaceful spot again and wonders when will his quiet school life start. Later, Yukito wants to go home, but it is raining outside and he does not even bring his umbrella as there is no chance of it. He has no umbrella and it looks like the rain will not stop anytime soon. His house is near, so he takes his bag on top of his head and runs towards home. While running, he sees a girl in the rain carrying some stuff, and he thinks that it is a lot of stuff. Amidst the stuff falls from her hand, and he asks her if she is okay. He runs to help her, but she tells him to stop or else she will feel bad. He wants to help her because he lives nearby and her house is there too. The girl asks for his help and he picks up the stuff for her. She says that he talks in a very old tone. Yukito says that he is a person from Asia and then says that he is kidding. Yukito takes the stuff with her to the house and she tells him that she just moved to this place, so it is pretty empty. As he delivers the stuff for her, she asks him to have a seat at her home. Yukito thinks that he is planning to go home once he is done here. But he cannot believe that a woman invited him to her place. The girl says thanks to him for helping her and then introduces herself as Himiyama Hisaki. She brings the tea for him and then Yukito tells his name to her. However, the girl repeats his name and he asks her if she knows him. Then he thinks why she is sitting next to him because normally people sit on the opposite side. Himiyama Hisaki gives him the cup of tea and then he asks her if she is living here by herself. The girl claims that she had finances as her treatment was not doing well because his parents wanted someone to inherit the inn, so they could not accept her. Yukito is wondering why she is telling him all this even though it is their first time meeting. He wonders if he has a feeling that attracts them. She says only if she had even one child, she would not be all alone. Himiyama tells him that she also wanted to become a teacher, but she failed to become one, and Yukido says to her that he thinks a lot of people would be happy if she became the homeroom teacher. Himiyama asks him if he is sure about it, and he thinks that she is really persuasive. She asks if he will be happy, and Yukido thinks that she seems really concerned. Then she holds his hand, says thanks to him, and asks if he would like to get along with her, and he agrees to do that. This is the point where our little stickman's stick starts to jiggle a little. Himiyama with excitement says that she should greet his parents as a newcomer. She is too excited and wants to bring some noodles for him to eat. Later they go together to see Yukido's mother, and they take some noodles with them. They knock at the door and his mother comes out. When she sees a girl with Yukido, she asks if her son has done something. Yukido introduces Himiyama-san and tells her that she recently moved here. Himiyama hands the noodles to his mother that she made for them and says that she had Yukido-san help her move some stuff. Meanwhile, Yukido thinks that he wants to pass his mother the stick and run away from there. While they are standing outside, Himiyama-san keeps holding his hand, and he thinks that she might not let go of his hand, and he wonders why they are holding their hands to begin with. Himiyama whispers in his ear that she will do anything for him, and he says if she says it like that, then he might as well accept it. She asks him to just say the word. Yukido wonders if this is not too much for just moving a few things. Therefore, he angrily says to her that she should stop that because if she does that too much then he might share love with her. The little stick dude said that in front of his mother. Himiyama holds him and places his face between the melons right in front of his mother, and he asks her to stop as he was just kidding. However, he feels good because the melons are too good and soft. While he is enjoying the softness of melons, Yukido's mother asks them what they are trying to do. Yukido thinks that everything is fixed by itself now and he lost his mind, but his mother tells him to pull himself together as he is losing his mind. Yukido gets up and says that he is good now, and Himiyama says to him that he is too cute, which is why she treated him like a little kid. Then she asks him if he liked it or not, and he says that he never really got to experience it, so it is kind of new to him. Yukido then says to her if she feels like someone who takes care of children, but apologizes for becoming rude, but Himiyama is happy to hear that. She is ready to make him feel good again whenever he is ready for it, as that is all she can really do for him, just for carrying stuff. She bids them good night and leaves from there. Yukido's mother closes the door and wonders when was the last time she took care of her son and gets to know that she never did it. She looks at his eyes and thinks that those eyes accept nothing and they expect nothing and ask nothing. The one who caused this was the foolish her in the past. However, it was too late when she realized, and it can be said that it was all her fault for what happened afterwards. She looks at her son and thinks that he might be thinking that no one loves him. Yukido asks her mother how she came home early today, and she says that she is going to be working from home now, and she will only need to head to the company once a week now. Yukido says that it is good for her. His mother knows that this can be the last chance to fix everything. She is motivated that she can still make it and she can still fix it, as they're the only three of them and they should be together by heart. She leaves the room claiming that she will be making some good things for dinner. Amidst, Yukido's sister Yuri also comes back home and their mother welcomes her back. Yuri, being a nice sister, asks her brother to tell her if he needs anything from her, as she will not need money for it. Yukido wonders what the word anything means. He thinks about the scene that happened in the morning and then wonders if his sister needs anything. He wants to help her and wonders if he should take his savings out for her. Yuri listens to the savings thing and asks him if he really wants to do something so badly. He says that he does not usually use money, and his sister says that it is too unhealthy. Yuri gets ready and says that she will do anything, and she does not need money so he can ask for it any time. Yukido says thanks to her, and Yuri seems happy to do anything for her brother. Amidst, her mother asks to help her wash the vegetables. Yuri goes into the kitchen and asks which detergent she should use, and Yukido hides behind the table. He wonders what she means by the word unhealthy. It is the first year's physical examination, and the principal looks out of the window and sees some fast kids in the playground. Miho and Yukido are having a friendly race, and Miho wins it. Then Miho makes fun of him by saying that he should not have challenged the king of sports. Yukido asks him to do the forward bend challenge with him, but Miho asks him if competing in flexibility is fun. Meanwhile, the girls are praising Kamishiro as she made a new record. Kamishiro has a blessed look and extraordinary athletic abilities, and it is all a waste for a member of the Go Home Club. However, he feels like she is not well, so he approaches her and asks if she is all right. Kamishiro says that it is nothing and she is all good, but Yukido knows that she is lying as she was always good at lying. He thinks that he asked her out of consideration, but he guesses that he ruined the mood. Therefore, he apologizes for disturbing her and tries to walk away from her, but she grabs his shirt and tells him to wait. She tells him that she was lying and in reality, she forgot to have breakfast today and she lied because she just did not want him to worry about her. Yukido asks her if she woke up late and she claims that she was a little busy and she only had a cup of ramen last night. Yukido says that she said nothing and asks what was she thinking. She says that she wants to know about the 3 sizes and he tells her that she should ask about it when they are alone. The girls ask her if she is sick and she says no, she is not sick to the point where she cannot even move. Her friends ask Yukido how he noticed that she is sick because they could not even tell about it, and he says when she feels happy and energetic, her ponytail swings around a lot and it is not moving at all. Kamishiro angrily says that her tail does not function like an animal's tail, and Yukido explains that it is just his observation though. Then he tells her not to push herself too far and she apologizes for making him worry. Yukido walks away from there and thinks that she might be fine now, but he still finds himself uneasy. He goes inside and a lot of girls try to get close to him. He wonders if he has been reincarnated into a dating spot or some, but the girls asks him to wake up to reality. Yukido asks those girls if they cannot read his mind and asks if he has reached the beautiful girl's ending. The girls tell him that Kamishiro will join their basketball club as long as he encourages her, and when he looks around in shock he sees Kamishiro standing there, claiming that she will join any club that Yukido joins and she is ready to join if Yukido claims that he wants to be there too. Yukido wonders why she is acting like his actual manager and he cannot join the women's basketball club. Amidst, the boys come and they take over the situation. One of them says that Miho comes as a set, as he told them that if Yukido joins the track and field club, he will be there. Therefore, this guy came to convince him and Yukido thinks that this one is a no-go as well. The guy tells him that Miho said that he will join the club if Yukido does, and Yukido thinks that it is not fair and gets angry at Miho. The girl and the boy start to fight over him joining their club. The girl says that she invited him first and the boy asks her if she really needs credit to bring out new talents. They are ready to try out everything. The soccer club team is also there and they want Yukido to join them as they want to go national in double tennis. Yukido has no clue where they came from. Yukido thinks about the problem known as the lack of people and tries to run from there. He goes to meet Mihao and tells him everything. Mihao starts to laugh after listening to it and claims that it sounded like a tough time. Yukido asks him if he wants to be punched in the face, and he apologizes for his actions because he did not think they would go this far. Yukido hopes that this is not going to last forever, and he knows that this is going to happen as his predictions were on point in a bad way. Amidst, the teacher enters the class and tells them to stop making noise as they are drawing lots for their new seats. At the same moment, a girl enters the class and she greets Yukido. Yukido already knows that girl by the name Minadaki and he tries to be cool, which he is not at all, and the girl tells him to stop being like that. He asks her if this is not guaranteed understanding, and she asks him if he thinks girls are rare animals or something. Yukido laughs and says that he thinks he is the rare animal, but the girl angrily tells him to wait as it is not what she thinks. She angrily claims that his jokes are not funny at all, and he asks her if it was so bad that she had to mention it. Mio also asks him if he is aware of them too. This group keeps increasing, and Takahashi is also part of it now. Yukido looks at him and says that only gloomy people are allowed here, and he tells him not to ask for the impossible thing. Then the teacher announces that it is good to feel relaxed but their tests are coming soon and tells them to be sure to study. She talks about the 3 certain idiots of the Go Home Club and says the club advisors have been causing a mess in the staff room as well. Yukido tells Shakadu to be sure not to cause Sensei any trouble, and she asks if it is about her. The teacher angrily says that it is about Yukido and tells him not to act surprised at all. Then she tells them that the tests are troublesome, so they have to do their best. Meanwhile, Yukido calls Miho idiot number 2, and he calls Yukido as number 1 idiot, but Yukido is not ready to accept it. At the same time, he does not want to make his sister face it either. Miho says that he sure has it tough. Amidst, Kamishiro approaches Yukido and asks if he can help her with the studies, and they label her as idiot number 3. Yukido says due to the number 3 request, they will be holding a study group, and Mio says that he will be the assistant. All of them stand in front of the class and Yukido asks idiot number 3 to explain what she did. She says that she mentioned their study group and everyone wanted to join. He thinks that this girl is way too ideal. The girls keep standing up and labeling them as number 4 and 5th idiot, and Suzurikawa asks them if they really have to label them with that numbering. The guys there also keep labeling themselves, and they want to study with them because they want to pass this time as they never did. Then Suzurikawa says that she is the number 8 idiot, but Yukido asks her to stop joking as she is a role model, and she says that she has parts that she is not confident in. Yukido picks up the chalk and writes something on the board. Then he tells everyone that this question is going to appear in the exam and tells them all to remember it. The classmates are shocked because they are not sure how he even knew about it, and he says this question has been out for 4 years straight and bets that it is going to come this time too. Yukido tells everyone that Yuri-san, his sister, gave him the test papers for last year, and it is his special treat to all of them. Everyone gets happy after hearing it, and they think that he is very helpful. Then Yukido starts to predict what will each teacher put on their papers, and Kamishiro gets up claiming that this is not much of a study group. Wow girl, you have a brain. Yukido asks her, how is that? And she asks if a study group should not be teaching them how to solve questions. Yukido thinks about it for a bit and says it is not like he had any trouble with these questions though. Meanwhile, Miki-chan starts to cry and she tells Kanachi that she hates Miho and Yukido. Kamishiro tells Miho not to let Yukido trick him, and he asks when did Yukido start to do that. Yukido thinks that this handsome surely loves to change sides. Therefore, Yukido plays a game and tells Elizabeth that he hates that handsome dude, but the girl does not believe him because those eyes will not work for her. Yukido wonders if they are destined to be opponents of one another and wonders when was that in their settings. Suzurikawa asks them, what are they doing, and says they should start it already. Sakurai asks Suzurikawa a question while Yukido is watching them, and he thinks that she is too good at teaching as she is gentle and masterful. Amidst, Kamishiro approaches him and asks if he can teach her too, and he does as asked. As he leaves after teaching HR, Kamishiro asks Miho for a second while Suzurikawa is teaching other students. Yukido observes it and asks Sakurai Kane if Suzurikawa and Kamishiro are on bad terms, and she angrily questions him if he is sure about asking her about that and gets angrier because he almost called her by her name. The girls in the class tell him that those two are opponents just like them and Sakurai Elizabeth. Sakurai asks if that was on purpose as they messed with her name once again. Yukido teaches a lot of things to the class and says that it is kind of rushed, but they have covered everything and everyone will pass the exam now. Everyone in class is super tired and he tells them to relax for a bit. Yukido goes to parks at times like these and says that there is a basketball court in there and it will freshen them up. Kamishiro asks him if he still plays basketball and he says that going there is enough to keep him refreshed. Therefore, Kamishiro takes the opportunity and asks if she can come with him